Hello, my friends. I hope you guys are doing really well today. I hope you're having a good one. Today, we're going to do another Get Crafty With It video, and I'm going to show you how to do lucky stars. These are really neat origami stars that you can make. They're super duper easy to make, and it's a lot of fun, especially while you're just like sitting there watching a movie, watching TV. If you're kind of a fidgety person like me, these are really fun to do while you're listening to a lecture or different things like that. These also have a really special meaning that I'll get to here in a little bit after I teach you how to do them, and I'll show you several times just in case you need to see it from different angles. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start with just one of our sheets of Lucky Star paper. You can get these long sheets on Amazon, and I will link below and explain them a little bit more later, but let's just take one of those, and we're going to loop it around like you would a ribbon, like a breast cancer awareness ribbon or something like that, and then you're going to take the short end of it and you're going to loop it through like you're tying a knot. You're going to need to wiggle it up a little bit, make sure it's nice and tight. Obviously don't pull because it'll tear, but make it nice and tight to where there's just a tiny little nub. So now the natural direction that the tiny little slip of paper is going to go, you're going to push that to the other side. You can see me kind of opening it up there, and you're going to tuck it in. And you're going to make sure all of the sides of this polygon are flat at this point. Then what you're going to do on the side that has two slips on the long side, you're going to start folding it. And it'll naturally just go to one of the 5 parts of the polygon on its own, so you don't really have to force it. It'll naturally go to one of them, and then keep going and keep going, as you can see while I fold it. It's very easy and intuitive. You don't have to think about it too much. You're just going to keep folding until you finally get to the end, when there's about that much left, and you're going to tuck it into whatever slip of paper is right there. Make sure it's tucked in nice and tight. And then you're going to take 3 fingers on 3 of the sides and 2 fingers on the other 2 sides, and you're going to just press in, and it doesn't always look beautiful, it doesn't always look perfect, but with a little bit of work, a little bit more molding, it'll look like a beautiful little puffy star. And I'm going to go ahead and keep making these so that you guys can see it from multiple different angles. And while I'm doing that on video, I'm going to tell you about the origins of lucky stars and talk to you about it a little bit, because I just think it's so beautiful. But before I do that, you can get these on Amazon, these little strips that I'm using, and they come in pretty large packs, but they're very inexpensive, and I'll link a few different kinds below. But you can also make them if you want. If you have a particular type of paper or color or pattern that you want to use instead, you can definitely make them and just cut them into strips like this, and it'll work out just fine for you. It doesn't have to be origami paper. One thing, cardstock doesn't work really well, because once you fold it that many times, it gets hard to mold it into the star shape. So no cardstock, but pretty much anything else would work. So now, talking about the origins of lucky stars, I love Japanese culture. I have since I was a little girl. I loved Hello Kitty, and getting older, I kind of started to more fall in love with the actual culture of Japan, not just what we see as Americans, but there's so much about Japanese culture and traditions that are just so thoughtful and meaningful, and I don't know, they're just one of the more mindful cultures that I've ever had the blessing to learn about, and lucky stars are definitely one of those things that I think is just such an amazing tradition that you can start using. So the, I guess, lore of lucky stars is that you're supposed to give them to someone as a gift. So you're supposed to make either 100 or 1,000, And if you can either just give them to a loved one as a gift to show that you're thinking about them and that you love them, or if you're giving them to somebody else who is, yeah, of course it can be a loved one, but somebody else as a gift, if you're giving it as a gift, for every 100 or 1,000 stars that you make, that person who you gave the gift to, is supposed to get a wish. And I just love that. I think it's so sweet. I think that gifts like this really show that you were thinking about someone. I mean, you can spend however much money you want on someone, but actually putting the time and effort into making 100 or 1,000 stars, I just think that's lovely and beautiful. And it's a great way to practice mindfulness, to spend the time while you're making the stars, either praying if that's for you, or hoping or wishing, or just thinking about whatever gift that you really want to give that person. If you're giving it as a wedding gift, thinking about how much you want a happy life for them, or whatever else. And I don't know, I just think that's a beautiful thing to give to somebody else. And these are great for decoration if you put them in just like a clear jar. They're so pretty just up on a shelf somewhere. They look lovely, and then they'll keep reminding you or that person of the gift that you gave them, the wish that you gave them. And I think that's really sweet. Coming from the South, I've always wanted to put a little decal on the jars that just said something along the lines of "Thank my lucky stars." But I think that'd be really cute. But either way, these are an awesome gift. They are so pretty, so cute, so easy to make, and a great way, if you're fidgety like me, like I said, they're a great way to, distract yourself while you're watching TV, doing a movie, or listening to a lecture, different things like that. So as you can see, they're not all perfect, they're not all the same, but they are pretty, and they're handmade, and they are evidence of a thoughtful practice, which I love. So I hope you guys had fun and learned something new, and I will see you next time. Bye, my friends.